Were you waiting for an applause line? Or?
Oh no, I like hearing my voice sometimes. Like good to be. It sounded real good to me. Like oh, the voice.
So really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us today. Joseph Projects, and when we're talking about innovation, you guys have been around since 2015. And what I've always been intrigued about your program is that it started with just such a simple logic, right? There are job seekers and there are empty jobs. It's a very simple and compelling premise. So just if you could talk to me a little bit about, and you were there, like the musical Hamilton in the room where it happened, when this program was launched by Pastor Jerome Smith. Just kind of tell us the story a little bit of those early days. What led to Joseph Project, what's led to your growth, and things that you've learned along the way.
First of all, I just want to say God is able, and I love Jesus. Pastor Smith, my best friend, passed away about 5 months ago. Miss him tremendously. But at the same time, I got a newborn son. His name is Chandler. He was born in the same week Pastor Smith passed. So I know God always has a divine plan. The Joseph Project is definitely a faith-based initiative. I was at the beginning point when I first started working for U.S. Senator Ron Johnson. And so I've worked in workforce development before I worked for Senator Johnson for about 15 years, from all the W-2 agencies, the reentry programs. One of the big issues were always transportation. I had an idea about transportation way back before I even got into politics or whatever the case may be. And it was always, you need to have vans, not buses, to get people to where from point A to point B. So I appreciate some of what the mayors are saying. All you mayors who are looking for some answers, come talk to us. The Joseph program has the solutions already. So let's go home right now. We already got the answers for you. I'm kidding. So we saw that one of the places that we looked at was Sheboygan County. And actually, the first place was in Racine, but Sheboygan was the first place we started. They called and had an idea to try to get young people turned on to manufacturing opportunities in their city because they were trying to find new talent. And I'm going to talk about talent as well, too. Fast forward, I'm at a meeting with the Economic Development Corporation out there, and they saying, we want to get kids involved in manufacturing. And I'm like, man, I got love for the kids, but I'm from Milwaukee. I got grown men being locked up for failure to pay child support for felonies. If you got all these jobs out here, I got grown men in Milwaukee, take these jobs. And so they were like, well, okay, Orlando, how we do it? I said, I got an idea. From there, they came to Milwaukee. I had a group of pastors come together. I'm in a Church of God in Christ, the largest African-American denomination in the world. Shout out to Kojic. And so our idea was to have a soft skills program that connected people to who genuinely wanted an opportunity to where opportunities were. The problem is transportation. How would you get them there? Well, the thing about the church is they got these things that kind of move only twice a week, on Sundays and typically on Wednesdays. The rest of the week, they're pretty much just sitting in the parking lot. You all know what those are, right? Church vans. There you go. Now, one of the mayors said, somebody said, we don't know why people have this stigma of people coming out from the city, and, from going out to suburban areas. We got to have some truth about some things, right? What the Joseph Project was able to do successfully, that we were able to screen candidates to get to what people who really wanted it. So for mayors out here who are having trouble with your, constituents, let me come to one of your meetings and I can be that, that verifier that we can do the job right. So you don't have to worry about some of the issues you may have. So we found these pastors, created a soft skill program based on faith. We did not take government money because we said we need to have a faith-based component, because the real change of people concerns that some of the mayors are talking about has to be one that changes the person on the inside from a faith component. Has to be a change. So anybody can get somebody a job. I worked in employment for like 20 years, so I know that's not a problem finding somebody a job. A good paying job is also a bonus as well, too. But we have to have a change of the spirit of a person, the character of a person. That's what we strive for in the Joseph Project. So we get these young men together. We get the first company we connect with is Kohler. That was the first one that came on board. We had 12 or 13 people start our first class, 1 week long soft skills class, no guarantees involved. The Joseph Project does not promise outcomes. So we don't do, equity. We don't do equity. We do equality. the opportunity. That's what sets us apart. We don't promise you a job. What we promise you is if you come to class and you participate and you select it and you do well, we'll give you an opportunity for you to shine. That puts the onus on the person. They must have buy-in themselves. That's our key to success. So we've been doing it for about, 6 years now. That one company exploded to, us servicing a lot of Sheboygan County. We're currently at, 3 locations in the state of Wisconsin, Wausau, Milwaukee, Green Bay. We were in Racine. We're going wherever the opportunities are. But the question is, it's not about transportation, right? Let's be honest about this thing. It's really about people. Where are the people at? That's what you're really talking about, right? You look at Milwaukee, Milwaukee had people, but you had to find the right people. Since we are an organization that doesn't take government money, we could be selective. We could tell people flat out, no, you're not the quality of character we're looking for. Because our relationships with these companies were vital, right? Pastor Smith always talked about don't throw away anyone. But at the same time, we had a standard in the ministry that everyone had to meet. I'm sorry, I'm in a tangent. I get excited, as you can tell. Go ahead. But that's how we get started. 6 years later, we're still doing it. We've been looked at by other states because Senator Johnson is really much still part of it. So we had other states looked at our model. We went out to other states to look at what we could do for them. Currently, right now, we have more companies than we do people. Unfortunately, we have some different approaches to government that we need people to come back to work again. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, my friend.
Okay. Wow, how do I follow that? So I hate to, so I'm an urban planner, right? So I'm always thinking of like data and numbers, and I completely appreciate it's about people. I lived in Sherman Park for 15 years, actually, right down the street from where you guys are on 55th and Center. And thank you for bringing up that, it's transportation, but that's literally and figuratively the vehicle. It's about connecting people and really developing people as individuals. But the urban planner in me, a little less passionate, a little more data, driven. I look at numbers and we talk about 150,000 rides in Milwaukee a day on MCTS and just the tremendous, numbers of people needing work and jobs and employers needing employees. How do we scale up? How do we get to where we need to be with those numbers while still having the outcomes that you guys have had by being very people focused?
So we're very clear to Joseph Project that we're not going to be your end all be all. We play a part in the overall scheme. We do what we do, and we do it extremely well. We focus on manufacturing. So how do we get to a bigger, how do you get the numbers to increase? Honestly, you have to look at the current economy. You have to look at some of the barriers that Milwaukee has. Let's go side note for a minute. We've talked all day about getting people to where the jobs are. We hadn't talked a whole lot about bringing the companies to the city. There's a reason for that. And those are some political issues and those are some social issues. There's a reason why the companies are not in Milwaukee. I'm sorry, one thing about me, I'm gonna tell you the truth, even if it makes you kind of uncomfortable. There's a reason why. And if we don't address those reasons, we don't have to worry about transportation because we would have companies in the city of Milwaukee where the people are. But since there are challenges, that's why you're here today, to find out how do we fix it, right? So I think the best way we can scale, I think part of the issue is that for us, we're not gonna change our model. We just can't. Our standard and quality has to be there because you all rely on a certain quality of employee that we want to try to find. In fact, that level of employee is also a level of character that we want for people, period. And that's for us as ministry, we are more concerned about the character of a person, the content of your heart, not the color of your skin. That's the big thing. We have employee partners. We talk about finding great people. And you hire great people. If you're focused on hiring great people, then equity, inclusion, all those buzz terms, they kind of just happen when you're fixated on finding the right people. I'm a historical black college grad. I appreciate the lady talked about black colleges because there's a ton of people in the black college atmosphere that you may want to go check out for your workforce. There are a lot of great people in Milwaukee, but you have to be able to scale up from that aspect of this. Most men in Milwaukee, unfortunately, men of color, they have a lot of felonies. So if your company has a strict, policy on background checks, that's going to be a problem. That just is, right? So how do you, finesse your background check services? You know, as a company owners, what is a go and what's not a go. You'd be surprised how many CEOs we met with, and the HR person is telling us, you got to have this in your background, you got to have this qualification, and the owner of the company is like, when do we start doing that? Why is that important? When I asked him, do he want to work every day? Is he going to have a great attitude? Can we rely on him? That's all I care about. So you need to look at how your hiring practices, right? What is a go and what's a no-go? Now, some things you can't get around. But as a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ, I do believe in redemption. The Joseph Project is about redemption and opportunities. This is America. We're about opportunities. So as employers, you have to look at how do you get them on board to scale up opportunities for more people to get into their pipeline. Manufacturing for us has been a sweet spot because it gives a lot of guys, quite honestly, because we work with everybody, not just formerly incarcerated. But what happens within the manufacturing environment, they give a lot of, let's say, forgiveness for criminal backgrounds. When you get into IT and some of your disciplines, you may have a problem. Like, I can't have a person who has, let's say, theft in your background working in my accounts payables. Or can you? We have a program in the state of Wisconsin called fidelity bonding that helps you as employers to insure yourself if you want to hire a person who has a criminal background that's directly impacting your line of business. So you just can't look at the manufacturing piece, but how do you get them into your boardroom, your marketing room? You got to do that. I'm sorry, again, I get on tangents. I get excited. You put a quarter in me, I'm ready to go.
No apologies necessary. So Orlando, we've talked. I visited Joseph Project not too long ago, met with you guys and met the First Lady.
First Lady, she's the new executive director for her. So we're still doing a Joseph Project. We're going to continue in Pastor Smith's memory, but also it's a good thing for the state of Wisconsin. This is where we need to be going. We still need help. Our biggest issue right now definitely is like anyone else is finding people. And that's the reality that we're faced with right now. How do we get people back to work again? For those higher, maybe more, let's say, jobs require more education, you have to be more broad on who you recruit, where you go find it. You have a historical black college just a few states over in Ohio. How many of you people knew that? There you go, right across the way. But it's definitely hard when you talk about how do you recruit people to a cold state. Listen. Unfortunately, we're going to lose some people to other states, but in the net gain, we're going to gain people as well too. Who are our champions of your companies and your titans of your company? Who are your best salespeople to sell your company? That's who needs to go out and recruiting for people. That's how you find great talent. You got to have somebody who still loves your company, who loves what they do every day. As you can tell, I love what I do every day. So it's not hard for me to get up against, let's just say, the energy that I have. Wisconsin is open for business, and we have a great state. But you have to get away from all this. We have so many political things flowing. We have so many challenges, but we don't have enough solutionary people. Again, I'll give you the elephant in the room. Why aren't companies coming to Milwaukee? That's a real question. I know you can't nod your head because somebody's going to get mad in the room, but I can because I don't really care. That's a problem, right? Because some of you guys right now, Milwaukee probably can take a few of your companies right now. I think we had Franklin was here. We had a few months ago, you had the meat company coming to Milwaukee. And what happened? We chased them away. Franklin was happy because they stayed. There you go. But we chased them away because of policies. Because we don't really have visionaries. We get up here, we talk a good game, but we don't tell you the truth. There's some things that are systemically happening. Yes, education is a problem. Yes, why do we build more affordable homes instead of finding great paying jobs? I'm sorry, I won't get no claps on that. Why are we building more affordable homes, but we're not fixated on more great paying jobs? You find great paying jobs, you don't need affordable homes. Does that make sense? I'm sorry, or do you just want to build more affordable homes instead of building more property owners? You talk about funding and having the state get involved. I'm sorry, people, if you're waiting for the state to get involved, you got people from the state who may not get involved that far. The solution is right here. Government isn't your solution. I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. Government is not your solution. Stop turning to the state. You are the answers in the room. Find a way. You guys already have some great thinkers in the room. You're the answer. Nobody's from Madison is going to come help you. Nobody from D.C. is going to come help you. Find the solutions. I'm with the whole idea of the last mile. The Joseph Project is open for business if the last mile needs us. We're there. I just love what I do. I don't look at problems as well and shake my head, woe is me. I look at the problem and I charge for it. I love this young man. He brought a level, he's more calm than me, as you can probably tell, and I get a little shy around a lot of people, but I like what he brought to the table. Solutions, right? Solutions. And we have a crime issue. Well, people are like, well, what's the stigma? You know what the stigma is. You don't want people who have bad intentions on city buses in your neighborhoods. Come on, man, let's stop. Let's be real right now. That's the problem. And you may have a legit problem with that because we do got a lot of crime in Milwaukee. We also got a lot of good people, too. The question is, how do you find the good people? Inject the Joseph Project. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't really have anything more to add to that, Orlando. So I really appreciate a few things you said, and I guess I'll just kind of close with my own little commentary here. Not to sound like, Don King or whatever, but this is America, right? And as I've gone around the region, I've talked with a lot of people, and it's like, well, what we need to do is have more affordable housing in the suburbs. What we need to do is have more businesses in Milwaukee. What we need to do is all these things aside from more regional transportation. And I say, why don't we do all three? Yep. If you say all three, I thought this was the United States of America. I thought we could do...
I'm the only one that loves America? Am I the only one that loves America? Right. This is America. Clap your hands for your country, please. Clap your hands for your country. We're the best country out here. What are you sitting on your hands for? We are the best. We're not perfect, but we're the best. I'm sorry, I get too fired up.
Okay.
I'm your alter ego.
And okay, right, yeah. Right, like the anger translator. And then... and I think the other thing that I think we can all take home from this is all hands on deck. Yes, we all have a part to play. And that's why I asked the question about data, right? And I love what you said. We're not the end all be all. You guys do what you do. Milwaukee County Transit does what they do really, really well. Horizons out of Cedar Rapids does what they do really, really well. How do we break down those silos and work together and row in the same direction? Because it's not going to be a big plan to come down from the heavens like on a tablet and tell us what to do. It's really, from the things that are working. And if there's anything that you take out of today is that there's positive things happening. There's a lot of people doing really good work. They're all over the community, some high profile, some under the radar. But how do we bring all this together to move forward and row in the same direction? So thank you, Orlando. Really.